I just spent a small fortune on step bits, so you don't have to. I just paid $7 for this step bit and over $120 for the Snap-on Blue Point. A whole bunch of others as well, so let's see which brand is the best. In the first test, we'll see which bit drills through mild steel the fastest. Then we'll compare performance on stainless steel. Finally, we'll see if any of the step bits can drill through AR 500 armor plating. At a price of only $7 is this Anfrere brand. They claim it's made of M35 cobalt. This is a great deal if this thing is as good as advertised. All the step bits we'll be testing offer sizes 3/16 of an inch up to 7/8. It's supposed to be able to cut through stainless steel. We're going to test that. And the Anfrere is made in China. To provide an accurate comparison, we want the same amount of downward force applied to each of the step bits. So I've attached a wheel to the lever arms of the drill press. I'll attach a rope and some weight to the wheel so we'll have a constant downward force during the drilling process. Using the chart on the drill press for a 3/16 inch drill bit, let's set the RPM to 990. 7.5 pounds of weight with 7x leverage works out to 54 pounds with downward force on the step bits. A Mohs hardness tester is definitely not the gold standard for testing metal hardness, but it'll provide us with some great information. And the number 6 pick is delivering some pretty deep scratches in the mild steel. With 54 pounds of downward force, the Anfrere brand M35 cobalt bit should be drilling through the mild steel like a hot knife through butter. And the Anfrere is making very slow progress, so it'll be very interesting to see if it can handle stainless steel. And it took just over 1 minute to drill the hole. At a price of $9 is this Neiko brand. It's made of high-speed steel and titanium nitride coated. 2-flute design for faster, smoother cutting. Automatically deburrs holes as you drill. And the Neiko is made in China. I tested step bits 4 years ago, and the Neiko was one of the slowest at over a minute to drill a hole through the mild steel. And the Neiko is a lot faster this time at just over 14 seconds. At a price of $18 is this Sharptool brand, made of M2 high-speed steel, which is much stronger than ordinary high-speed steel. They say you can drill directly into material without a pilot hole. The Sharptool has a special coating that resists wear better than titanium, and the Sharptool is made in China. And the Sharptool is drilling the pilot hole at a faster rate of speed compared to the Anfrere and the Neiko. And the Sharptool moves into the lead at just over 11 seconds. At a price of $19 is this Pit brand. Impact ready, wear resistant coated. Has a hardness of HRC 64 to 67. They claim it's made of M35 cobalt. And the Pit is made in China. And the Pit is making smaller chips than the Sharptool, but it's still making pretty fast progress. And the Pit has finished drilling the pilot hole in very close to 13 seconds to move into second place behind the Sharptool. At a total price of $40 for 2 bits or $20 each is this Hercules brand, which is sold at Harbor Freight. It has a bronze oxide coating that keeps the bit cooler. Spiral flutes remove the material faster. It's designed for both drills and impact drivers. And the Hercules is made in China. 4 years ago, the Hercules needed 17 seconds to drill through mild steel. And the Hercules is making a lot faster progress this time. And the Hercules moves into the lead at 8.57 seconds. At a price of $22 is this OXMUL brand. It's made of M35 cobalt. They say it'll cut through stainless steel like a hot knife through butter. Industrial grade and can drill 8 times longer and 3 times faster. And the OXMUL is made in China. Just like the Hercules, the OXMUL is making some pretty large chips and cutting through the steel quickly. And the OXMUL moves into the lead at just over 8 seconds. At a price of $27 is this KSEIBI brand, made of high-speed steel black oxide M2 material. Dual flute design for up to 2 times faster hold times. It's supposed to offer 4 times longer life. And the KSEIBI is made in China. And the KSEIBI is just shredding the mild steel. And 4.17 seconds is about twice as fast as the OXMUL. Very impressive. At a price of $27 is this Norseman brand. They claim it has a special axial and radial flute design. Dual flute design for clean and accurate holes. It has a gold oxide finish. And the Norseman is made in USA. I've had a lot of requests to test the Norseman brand. And the Norseman is making decent progress, but not nearly as fast as the KSEIBI. And it's 10.17 seconds for the Norseman. At a price of $30 is this DeWalt brand. In the previous showdown, the DeWalt was the winner, and I used the same exact link in order to purchase this DeWalt bit. So it'll be very interesting to see if the DeWalt has held on to their quality. It's supposed to offer 2 times the life. It's a product of Taiwan and finished in China. 4 years ago, the DeWalt cut through the mild steel in around 8 seconds. And the DeWalt has finished this time in 6.55 seconds to move into second place behind the KSEIBI. Also at a price of $30, the same price as the DeWalt is this TEMO brand. It's an M35 cobalt spiral flute step drill. Double spiral flutes for more efficient swerve clearance. And the TEMO is made in China. 4 years ago, the TEMO made the pilot hole in mild steel in 11 seconds. And the TEMO is quite a bit faster this time at 7.53. At a price of $30 is this Wanyu brand. It's made of M35 cobalt. It has a 4 spiral flute design. It's designed for impact and can be be used on stainless steel, wood, plastic, and more. It has a 135-degree cutting angle. And the Wanyu is made in China. And the Wanyu is making pretty slow progress compared to the KSEIBI, DeWalt, and TEMO. And the Wanyu has finally finished drilling the pilot hole in 12.23 seconds. At a price of $33 is this EZARC brand. More specifically, it's the EZARC Obsidian. Triple flute designed for increased stability. It's made of M35 cobalt high-speed steel. Made in China. At $33, expectations for the EZARC are pretty high. Unfortunately, the chisel on the EZARC just isn't very efficient on mild steel. 25.82 seconds is one of the slowest in the lineup. At a price of $34 is this Klein Tools brand. They claim that it's 10 times more durable. We're going to test that. Most of the step bits have spiral flutes, but the Klein Tools has a straight flute. And the Klein Tools is made in China. 4 years ago, the Klein Tools was one of the slowest in the lineup, drilling the pilot hole in 34 seconds. And the Klein Tools is a lot faster this time at just over 12 seconds. At a price of $35 is this Freud Diablo brand. It's supposed to drill twice as fast as the competition and have a 6 times longer life. Ideal for metal as well as PVC and other materials. Delivers up to 75% more cuts per charge. And the Diablo is made in Switzerland. 4 years ago, the Diablo drilled the pilot hole in 18 seconds. Unfortunately, the Diablo is quite a bit slower this time in just over 30 seconds. At a price of $150 for all 3 bits or $50 each is this Milwaukee brand. They claim it's designed to drill through hard metal. Up to 15 times longer life. You can drill over 1,000 holes in mild steel before using up this tool. And the Milwaukee also includes cobalt. And the Milwaukee is made in the USA. And the Milwaukee was pretty fast 4 years ago in drilling the pilot hole in just 10 seconds. Unfortunately, the Milwaukee has slowed down quite a bit at just over 30 seconds. At a price of $53 is this Greenlee brand. They claim their step bit has the fastest and smoothest cut with a new progressive split tip design. Cuts through aluminum, brass, copper, wood, fiberglass, plastics, and more. Up to 10 gauge mild steel. And the Greenlee is made in the USA. And the Greenlee is not advertised for use on hard steel, but mild steel should not be a problem. And 8.41 seconds is a little bit faster than average. At a price of $53 is this Toolant brand. It's a 4-spiral flute cobalt step drill bit. It's even impact ready. Made of M35 cobalt high-speed steel. And the Toolant is made in China. At over $50, expectations are pretty big for the Toolant. And the Toolant just isn't making very fast progress compared to many of the less expensive brands. And the Toolant is finished in 12.34 seconds. At a price of $58 is this Irwin brand. It's made of cobalt alloy high-speed steel for extended cutting life. They claim that the speed point tip prevents walking, gets fast starts, and eliminates the need for pilot and starting holes. Most of the other step bits have 2, 3, or 4 flutes, but this one just has 1. And the Irwin is made in USA. 4 years ago, the Irwin drilled the pilot hole in 30 seconds. And 4 years later, the Irwin is still pretty slow at 21.79. At a price of $100 is this MacTools brand. Dual radial concave fluted self-starting design. It has a titanium nitride coating. And the MacTools is made in China. At a price of $100 from a premium brand like MacTools, this step bit should perform well. Unfortunately, the MacTools step bit is one of the slowest in the lineup at 24 seconds. At a price of $123 before shipping, handling, and tax, or $160 with it, is this Blue Point brand, which is sold by Snap-on. Several of the other brands have spiral flutes, but the Blue Points are straight. And the Snap-on Blue Point is made in China. And expectations are even bigger for the $123 Snap-on Blue Point. And the Blue Point just isn't making very quick progress. And 15.48 seconds is quite a bit slower than the KSEIBI, DeWalt, and TEMO. So the KSEIBI is the fastest at drilling the pilot hole in 4.17 seconds. DeWalt finished in second place at 6.55 and TEMO third at 7.53 seconds. Let's see how the step bits perform at drilling through medium hardness steel. It's about half the thickness of the mild steel. And once again, the Anfrere is making very slow progress. And the step bit is finally finished drilling the pilot hole in 32.44 seconds. The Anfrere came to a stop making a 9/16 inch hole. And the $9 Neiko drilled the pilot hole in the medium hardness steel in just over 7 seconds. And the straight flute design helped the Neiko avoid becoming stuck as it carved out a larger hole. And the Neiko finished the job drilling a 7/8 inch hole in 21.89 seconds. And the Sharptool continues to drill the pilot hole faster than the Neiko at around 6.5 seconds. However, the Sharptool ran out of steam a little bit early at 0.68 inches or about 2/3 of an inch. And the pit performed well drilling the pilot hole on mild steel, and it performed well in medium hardness steel as well. And at 7.73 seconds for the pilot hole, and the pit came to a stop at just over a ½ inch. And the Hercules continues to make very quick progress on drilling the pilot hole at very close to 6 seconds, the fastest time yet. And the Hercules came to a stop at a ½ inch. And the OXMUL once again outperformed the Hercules at drilling the pilot hole. And the OXMUL also made a little bit more progress than the Hercules at just over a ½ inch. And the CEIBI drilled the pilot hole in only 2.26 seconds. Unfortunately, the spiral flute design on the CEIBI pulled the step bit into the cut way too fast and it ran out of steam at 0.44 inches. And the Norseman might not be as fast as several of the other brands, but it made very good progress, drilling the pilot hole in just under 6 seconds. And the Norseman is well designed and it drilled completely through the medium hardness steel in very close to 10 seconds to move into the lead. And the DeWalt is even faster than the Norseman, finishing the pilot hole in 3.29 seconds. And the DeWalt just blasted through the medium hardness steel and finished the job in 7.79 seconds, the fastest time yet. And the TEMO is almost as fast as the DeWalt and finished the pilot hole in 4.74 seconds. And the TEMO made very good progress, but it came to a stop at 3/4 of an inch. And the Wanyu continues to trail the DeWalt and the TEMO and finished the pilot hole in 6.75 seconds. Unfortunately, the Wanyu couldn't quite finish the job at 9/16 of an inch. And the EZARC continues to struggle at 11.87 seconds to drill the pilot hole. And the EZARC came to a stop after drilling the hole at just over a ½ inch. And the MacTools continues to perform better than it did 4 years ago, drilling the pilot hole in 6.34 seconds. And the MacTools finished the job in 11.15 seconds to move into 3rd place behind the Norseman. And the Diablo continues to trail the MacTools, drilling the pilot hole in just over 9 seconds. Fortunately, the Diablo did finish drilling the hole unassisted in 17.29 seconds. And the Milwaukee is making good use of its cobalt steel, drilling the pilot hole in just over 6 seconds. Unfortunately, the Milwaukee couldn't quite finish the job, but it did perform well at 0.82 inches. And the Greenlee continues to perform well at drilling the pilot hole in just over 6 seconds. 7.79 seconds is the time to beat, but the Greenlee came up just a little bit short at 9.39 seconds, which is good enough to move into 2nd place. And the Toolant continues to trail the Greenlee at drilling the pilot hole at just over 7 seconds. Unfortunately, the Toolant also trails the Greenlee at drilling through the medium hardness steel, coming to a stop at 0.68 inches. And the Irwin might not be fast, but is still performing well. And the Irwin has finally finished with the pilot hole in 8.2 seconds. And the Irwin came very close to finishing the hole at 0.81 inches. The MacTools continues to really struggle, finally finishing the pilot hole in 11.77 seconds. And the MacTools almost crossed the finish line, but came up a little bit short at 0.82 inches. And the $123 Snap-on Blue Point drilled the pilot hole in 8.2 seconds, the same speed as the Irwin. And the Snap-on Blue Point might be slow, but it didn't come to a stop. And it's 20.18 seconds to finish the job. So once again, the CEIBI drilled the fastest pilot hole in only 2.26 seconds. DeWalt finished in 2nd place once again at 3.29 and OXMUL 3rd at 4.43 seconds. Only 7 of the step bits were able to drill the 7/8 inch hole unassisted. The DeWalt came out on top at 7.79 seconds. Greenlee finished in 2nd place at 9.39 and Norseman 3rd at 10.17. Step bits are oftentimes used to drill into stainless steel. Unfortunately, stainless steel does work hard and quickly, so it's very important that the drill bits maintain a fast cutting speed. Unfortunately, the Anfrere is not able to drill into the stainless steel. The stainless steel became too hard from the heat. The chisel point is now flat and pretty much ruined. For a budget step bit, the Neiko has performed reasonably well, but the stainless steel is just too hard for the Neiko. Just like with the Anfrere, the chisel point on the Neiko is now flat and dull. And the Sharptool has plenty of sharpness to cut through the stainless steel. And 6.65 seconds is now the time to beat. And the step bit came to a stop at 5/8 of an inch. The chisel point on the Sharptool does show a small amount of wear and tear. And the pit has trailed the Sharptool until now, but the pit drilled through the stainless steel just a little bit faster this time at 6.55 seconds. The hole size is a little smaller than the Sharptool at 0.58 inches. And the chisel point on the pit is in the best shape yet and still looks to be in good condition. And the Hercules made very quick work of the stainless steel in 3.6 seconds to move into the lead. The hole size is right at 0.56 inches. And the Hercules is still in pretty good condition. And the OXMUL continues to drill faster than the Hercules at 3.39 seconds. And the OXMUL came to a stop after drilling a 0.54 inch hole, and the OXMUL is still in very good condition. And the CEIBI drilled through the stainless steel in only 1.27 seconds and left behind a 0.61 inch hole. And the CEIBI is still in very good condition. And the Norseman barely drilled the pilot hole before the stainless steel became too hard. 5.1 seconds, and the hole size left behind by the Norseman is just over ½ inch. And the Norseman is still in very good condition. And the DeWalt is the second fastest yet at 2.67 seconds to drill the pilot hole. And the DeWalt made the biggest hole yet at 0.64 inches. However, there is some visible wear to the chisel. And the TEMO made very easy work of the stainless steel at 3.18 seconds and the largest hole yet at 0.74 inches. And the TEMO still looks as good as new. And the Wanyu is also pretty fast at drilling through the stainless steel in 4.27 seconds and the hole size is 0.59 inches. And the Wanyu looks nearly as good as the TEMO. Unfortunately, the stainless steel is way too hard for the EZARC. The chisel on the EZARC just doesn't seem to have the right geometry for cutting efficiently. And the Klein Tools also made very easy work of the stainless steel in only 3.55 seconds and left the largest hole yet at 0.77 inches. However, the Klein Tools did experience a little bit more wear and tear than the TEMO. Unfortunately, the stainless steel is way too much for the Diablo. A poorly shaped chisel point seems to be holding back the Diablo. And the Milwaukee is almost as fast as the DeWalt at 3.23 seconds and made the largest hole size yet at 0.77 inches. Unfortunately, the chisel and the leading edge of the flutes experienced some wear and tear. And the Greenlee also performed well, drilling the pilot hole in 4.17 seconds with a 0.61 inch hole size. However, there is quite a bit of wear and tear to the Greenlee. And the Toolant is also a little bit slower than average at 6.24 seconds and left a hole size of 0.56 inches. The Toolant also experienced some wear to the chisel. Unfortunately, the stainless steel is just way too hard for the Irwin. The chisel point looks pretty flat and damaged. And the MacTools also struggle with the stainless steel and is unable to drill a hole. And there's quite a bit of visible wear and tear. And the Snap-on is slower than average, drilling the pilot hole in 7.63 seconds. The hole that it left behind is also smaller than average at 0.44 inches. The chisel also experienced a little bit more wear and tear than most of the other brands. So the Milwaukee made the largest hole size at 0.785 inches. Klein Tools finished in second place at 0.77 inches and TEMO third at 0.736. Drilling the pilot hole is oftentimes the most challenging part of a task, and the KSEIBI is the fastest at 1.27 seconds. DeWalt finished in second place at 2.67 and TEMO third at 3.18. The ultimate step bit durability test is to see if any of these bits can drive through this extremely hard AR500 steel. As you can see, this is a steel target. We'll skip the step bits that weren't able to drill through stainless steel. I'll apply very close to 200 pounds of downward force on the step bit, and I'll be using cutting oil. And the Sharptool stopped making progress at around 23 seconds. And the step bit now looks pretty dull. I'll measure the depth of the hole using this dial indicator. And 10.81 millimeters is very good. I'll cool down the AR500 between testing each of the bits. And the pit stopped making progress at around 12 seconds. The bit experienced quite a bit of wear and tear, but the pit created a 7.4 millimeter crater. And the Hercules started off strong, but stopped making progress at around 19 seconds. And the Hercules experienced quite a bit of wear and tear. And 10.16 millimeters is almost as good as the Sharptool. And the OXMUL had a short life at around 11 seconds drilling into the AR500. The chisel on the OXMUL is pretty dull, and it only drilled 6.86 millimeters into the steel plate. And the KSEIBI started off strong but became stuck quickly. And the KSEIBI's flutes pulled the step bit into the workpiece way too aggressively, causing it to become stuck. I released the bit several times, but it kept becoming stuck. There's definitely some visible wear and tear. And 5.86 millimeters is the least amount of progress yet. And the Norseman was immediately squealing like a pig, but it didn't slow down. And the Norseman stopped making progress at around 19 seconds. The chisel looks pretty dull after this torture test. And 9.03 millimeters is good enough to move into third place. And the DeWalt does not claim to be made of M35 cobalt. Unfortunately, the DeWalt only lasted about 2 seconds. The leading edge of the flutes and the chisel are in very bad condition. And 1.67 millimeters moves the DeWalt into last place. And the TEMO is shredding the AR500 quickly. And the Schwarf from the TEMO seems to be getting in the way. And the TEMO seems to have stopped making progress at around 18 seconds. And the TEMO is still in very good condition. And the TEMO is the first step bit to penetrate the AR500. Very impressive. And the Wanyu is off to a fast start and is making progress quickly. The Wanyu lasted about 15 seconds before running out of steam. And the Wanyu did experience quite a bit more wear and tear compared to the TEMO, and 11 millimeters is good enough to move into second place behind the TEMO. And the Klein Tools has definitely improved compared to 4 years ago and is making pretty quick progress. And the Klein Tools is finished in about 18 seconds. There is some visible wear and tear to the chisel and the leading edge of the flutes, and 10.21 millimeters is quite a bit better than average. Unfortunately, the Milwaukee is pretty quick to throw in the towel at around 5 seconds. And the Milwaukee experienced significant damage and only made 2.8 millimeters of progress. And the Greenlee is only advertised for use on softer materials. And the Greenlee is finished after about 2 seconds. Lots of damage to the chisel, and 1.26 millimeters is a pretty shallow hole. And the Toolant started off strong but stopped making progress at around 10 seconds. The chisel experienced a lot of wear and tear, but 7.02 millimeters is a pretty good amount of progress. And the Snap-on Blue Point is off to a pretty good start. And $123 Snap-on is out of steam at around 20 seconds. And the chisel and leading edge of the flutes is pretty much worn out. And 5.3 millimeters is around half the progress as the $18 Sharptool brand. So the TEMO is the only brand to completely drill through the AR500. Wanyu finished in second place at 11 millimeters and Sharptool third at 10.81. So which step bit is the best? I converted raw scores into a 1st through 20th ranking, and the DeWalt came out on top with an average finish at 4th place. The DeWalt performed well in just about every category, but it's not nearly as durable as some of the other brands. On the other hand, the TEMO was just about as fast as the DeWalt in each of the speed tests. However, the TEMO is far more durable and did a great job of drilling into the AR500. Considering the $30 price tag and its performance, the TEMO would definitely be my choice. Compared to when I tested the Klein tools 4 years ago, they've really improved their step bit and finished in 3rd place. When it comes to step bits, save yourself some money and avoid those very expensive step bits that just don't perform well. Same thing with the very cheap step bits. All the videos in this channel, including this one, are viewer suggested. So if you have a video idea, I hope you'll take time to leave a comment. Thanks so much for watching. Please take care and I look forward to next time.